All right, let me try this again. Hmm. Um, if someone is listening, maybe I'll start carving until someone comes to listen. Let's see. Long, strange trip it's been. Yeah. All right. Um, all right, I'm going to start carving a little bit just because that's what I want to do. I'll be quick. Hmm. All right. All right. If someone can let me know if they can hear, is anybody watching? Because for some reason my technology doesn't work. All right. I I need to be brief. I don't know if that's possible. Um, this is for posterity's sake. Um, so I'm gonna talk off the cuff about Pulsechain. Pulsechain is the chain that people love to love and love to hate, right? It's the same thing with Richard Hart. Like always, the founder sets the tone from the top, always, or from the back, which is where Richard Hart is leading and managing now. So it's been a long, strange trip, but for me, the presence of Liberty Swap Finance is the number one indicator for me that the tides have turned. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know how it was going to happen. Once there was legal certainty on July, let's say 7th, once that happened, I knew just because I felt it in my bones that, and also because there were messengers telling me, right? The Eros plan came to me and it said, hey, wake up, pay attention. Pulse chain is the speculative play. Pulse chain is leverage on leverage for our Titan X assets. My brother, blessings, 3 to 9 months from now. Lord willing, our lives will change. Hold on, friend. Yeah, man. Okay. So let's play this out 3 to 9 months from now. And let's talk about especially William Dugan, tattoo master. Um, First of all, your art, some of what you share is amazing. It's beautiful, and it's really powerful. So, right, and eventually, I am gonna want a, especially since I told my son I was gonna get a sleeve, a Maori, not necessarily Maori, but similar to Maori style sleeve, and he was like, "That's too much." I was like, "All right, I may need to do it." Thank you, brother. All glory to God. Right on. Okay, so let's talk because William Dugan's here. Let's talk about 3 to 6 months from now. Let's talk 3 months from now, and then 6, and then 9 months, and let's even go out 12 months, right? And especially since I believe, Mr. Dugan, you are a PTGC head. right? A PTGC fan. So PTGC uh, is so the pulse chain cycle is starting. Liberty Swap Finance has shown up after there's like regulatory legal certainty, rate cuts in the coming months, and money printer may be turned on. Hopefully, Richard returns to marketing. Yeah, I don't think. Look, I think it's a new day. I don't think we need Richard. I mean, Richard is definitely marketing, but I think he's marketing in a bigger way. He's he's so yeah, I think that Liberty Swap Finance is a form of pulse chain marketing, but it's also core infrastructure, right? What Liberty Swap Finance is doing is first, it's starting with fast, cheap swaps. It's not even, let's forget about bridge. It's fast, cheap swaps into pulse chain, core pulse chain assets, from stable coins, right? Like, and it's the combination of onboarding new users, making it easy for people like me. Once I saw Liberty Swap Finance, now I could have, and I've been sending over USDC and Titanx assets. I've been using the bridge system. I like the bridge system. But what Liberty Swap Finance has done has made it really easy and fast, which is great. And so I knew that once there was legal certainty, two things were going to happen for Pulse Chain. One was there was going to be technical upgrades. Just because little birdies were tweeting in my ear about what was coming. And I was like, great, we need technical upgrades. We need bridge technology, not just from Ethereum, but from all of, you know, all of decentralized finance, all the chains that have volume and users really need the opportunity to swap into Pulse Chain, because Pulse Chain, compared to almost all the other layer ones, it doesn't have decentralized ownership. This is why people struggle with Richard Hart and him owning so much supply. But I believe his contribution is going to be burning supply, right? He's been talking about, yes, marketing and mass marketing, but the Liberty Swap Finance marketing is powerful because it gives users, investors, a way to swap into assets, including PDAI, right? PDAI and Pulse Chain, Wrap BTC are definitely part of the Liberty Swap Finance plan. They're definitely part of the emerging strategy to uplift Pulse Chain, to make Pulse Chain the number one DeFi destination for decentralized infrastructure and also privacy technology, which is the other thing that Liberty Swap Finance, they're talking about ZK P2P, right? So ZK technology, privacy technology, person to person, which is basically, as I understand it, a way for Liberty Swap Finance to plug in privacy technology to their app, which is amazing. And so what that means is someone like me, let's say I have Zelle or I don't know, Venmo, right? It means I can send dollars from Venmo through ZK P2P and get PDI, right? I haven't used that part of the Liberty Swap Finance tech stack. I'm using a little bit at a time to test it out, right? And so, like a few $100s at a time, I will basically swap. And this is what I've been doing because I like the PDI narrative. Some people hate it, they think it's a scam. I'm like, I don't care. I did really well on PDI and Atropa and Bear way back when, and I'm going to do really well on PDI, Atropa, and Bear again, right? And so what I've been doing, and when Liberty's, so what I've been doing anyway is bridging over Titanx assets and pairing them with with and buying Eros. Why? Because it's fully decentralized. It's a PTGC clone, fully decentralized, fully automated. There are no humans in charge. That's why I like it. Same reason why I like PTGC and UFO and the Grays currency. It's the other side of the coin. The Grays currency is a really great innovation in technology and financial system designed for Pulsechain. PTGC and UFO designed for Pulsechain are going to blow it up. William Dugan, bless you, my friend. You are going to blow up, you holding PTGC and UFO, right? So where was I? Liberty Swap Finance. So yeah, so Liberty Swap Finance is for me the indicator of that follows from legal certainty, tech upgrades, infrastructure. Now, I don't know who's running Liberty Swap Finance. There are people that some people think it's Richard Hart. I don't think so personally, but I have no idea. But I do believe it's a coordinated effort. It's obvious. Other people say it's James Osborne, Maria, that's his thing. I was like, I have no idea. I have no idea. But I like that I don't know. Anon, in this case, is good. Eventually, the technology stack will speak for itself. And we are building trust with the product right now, right? And, there's not a lot of risk if you put in $100 and get out $100, right? If I put in $100 of USDC and get out $100 of PDI, that's amazing. And so that's what I've been doing. So okay, so the long strange trip it's been with Pulsechain. So the Pulsechain cycle is starting. I do believe that. Now there is a counter narrative which is this is just another Richard Hart game. He's playing with his people. He's playing. It's all this egocentric power grab by an egocentric, founder, billionaire that made a lot of money on a sacrifice. I think these people that say that don't realize like what else has been built and done, but that's neither here nor there. I do believe that it doesn't matter right now who's behind Liberty Swap Finance. What matters is they're delivering the bridge technology so that masses of DeFi users can come in from Solana and from Ethereum and from Binance Smart Chain and from Sonic and from all the places where DeFi is. Why? Because of the speculative opportunity of Pulsechain. Pulsechain as a layer one is at or close to its bottom. Okay. And it's been 4 years of shaking people out, scams, like division among these micro communities, all the toxicity. Truly, only PTGC. Probably there are others, but truly only PTGC and Eros, because Eros was dropped to us over a year ago. Eros is pure DeFi. Pure DeFi. It's a PTGC clone with a deflationary scarce asset, and the R bots are buying and burning and churning, right? But PTGC was probably the only asset and community that has really weathered the Pulsechain storm so elegantly, and become what it is now, which is a blue chip waiting to be. So what I see happening is over the next going back to Williams' thought about 3 to 9 months. So the next 3 months, so it's July to August, August to September, September to October. Okay. Yeah, what I see happening on Pulsechain is as Ethereum, first of all, Pulsechain is going to front run, is hitting bottom now, in my opinion. And then what we're seeing from PDI and Wrap BTC and also PTGC is a rebound off the bottom, off the local bottom. And we're seeing, particularly with Liberty Swap Finance leading the way, a real focus on marketing and a real focus on bringing in newcomers and raising awareness and making it easy, right? And so I think what we're going to see over the next 3 months is more core technology infrastructure being added to the Pulsechain tech stack. People like to make fun of it, and that's fine, but it's a full system state copy of the number one blockchain on the planet for building on. So Pulsechain, you can disrespect the technology all you want. It's built on it's a pretty good clone, right? And it's about to get technical upgrades. And once there are technical upgrades, meaning bridge and swap and privacy features, once that starts happening, you're going to start to see retail flooding in. So there's going to be a lot of new users when all this capital is going to start flowing into Pulsechain. It's going to follow the infrastructure upgrades and the legal certainty. There's going to be capital flow in. Some people that are going to be investing in Pulsechain are going to surprise us, right? I suspect Pulsechain is going to have a little different. It's going to be a different animal than the rest of the market. Just like I believe Titan X is going to be a little different animal, but in a smaller, different way. But it's going to be a different animal, mostly because it's got so much capital stored up. Even if it's not used, stored up in the buy and burns, there's a lot of capital stored up in the buy and burn, and that gives Titan X some backing that a lot of assets don't have, as small as it is. And there's a lot of assets backing, a lot of Ethereum backing it. The question there is, well, what's it used for? The uncertainty isn't great. The mystery isn't ideal, but it does mirror some ways, in a bigger way, the mystery behind Liberty Swap Finance and Pulsechain and how it's operating. There isn't transparency here, partially because this is a privacy featured blockchain. The privacy features aren't there yet, but anyone that has followed Richard Hart knows that he has found the way to achieve personal, privacy, even though he's been hunted, right? Literally and metaphorically. So I believe that the privacy features are going to get built in to Pulsechain in a way that maybe doesn't exist in any other layer one, right? And so that for me, the combination of legal certainty, um, decentralized validator set, over 50,000 and growing decentralized validator set all over the planet, very hard to shut down, very hard to censor. I like that. And then you combine that with this ZK technology integrated into swap, onboarding, offboarding. I mean, that's huge, right? And if in fact, and I don't know if it is, I like the speculation that PDI is going to $1. I like the speculation that PDI is going to be a floating, permissionless, it's a stabilizing asset. It's not a stable coin. None of these ARB, you know, controlled assets are really stable coins. They're floating, right? Above and below some sort of target, right? And the question then is, well, what's backing it? And it's $1 maybe worth of what backing PDI, right? So I think that's one of the things that we're going to see over the next, based on how I see Liberty Swap Finance marketing this, they're marketing $1. $1 of what? What is going to, everyone's like, what? Bear is going to be $1? PDI is going to, I'm like, no, I don't believe that all of these things are going to $1. That's not what this is about. I think what it's about, this is my hypothesis. I think the dollar thing is it's getting us used to the idea that things are backed with $1's worth of something else. So they're like, let's assume for a second that PDI is intended to float above and below $1. $1 of what? It's not going to be backed by dollars. So, but it could be $1's worth of something else, like $1's worth of Bitcoin, $1's worth of Ethereum, $1's worth of Hex, $1's worth of Bear, right? Depending on what backs the hypothetical floating stabling asset, let's say that PDI, right now it's all speculative in my mind, but now that we have Liberty Swap Finance talking about $1, I'm thinking, well, okay, it could be PDI to $1, but even more interesting for me when I'm thinking about what's backing all these assets and how do you get there and why does it have value, I'm starting to think, ooh, okay, I get it. I think there's going to be a backing of Pulsechain with BTC, some sort of wrapped version of BTC, some wrapped ETH on Pulsechain, and whatever core assets there are that end up being the backing to these core assets on Pulsechain. So I don't know, but I think that's what's going to be coming clear over the next 3-6 months. And so I do think that the next 3-6 months are going to be explosive for decentralized finance. I do. I think that we are in an alt season. It's ready to happen. It may be slower than I or we think. It may be faster than I or we think. Awesome. When do you think we get back to sacrifice price? I don't know, man. The question, I mean, how far, I don't really think about it like that, but let me say, are we, how far down are we? Are we like, you mean like Pulsechain is like 70% down, 80% down um, from sac price? I don't know. It's not going to take too long. I don't think Yeah, I think Pulsechain is going to follow other things. If you notice what's leading, what led the rebound? Okay, when are we going to 100x from here? Oh, yeah, I think that's a great question. I think that on it depends on what you're holding. Like PTGC, a 100x, let's say it's, I don't know, it's about 100 million. I know it's a little bit more, but 100 times that's 10 billion. I think you will, I think we will 100x PTGC this bull cycle. I don't know when. I don't know when. I think that there are going to be other assets that will go faster than that, but that's probably the safest bet to 100x in my opinion. I also think that Pulse Chain will 100. I have a hard time saying this because I don't fully believe it yet. PTGC, I definitely believe it. Um, I also believe it with Eros because it's a PTGC clone and very low supply and low liquidity. You know, so yeah. So the question is, well, what is it worth? And that will be a variable around supply and liquidity. And so the thing about PTGC is you can 100x that coin and also exit gracefully without tons of slippage and without tons of, you don't kill the chart by exiting gracefully from a chart like PT, except for the top holders, and the top holders are holding, right? That's the beauty of PTGC. So, okay, where was I? Liberty Swap Finance. I'm about to lose my thing. Liberty Swap Finance. Eros will 100x. Oh, PDI. Like PDI is a 100x coin, I believe. Bear, not teddy bear, OG teddy bear, not newfangled, like no, sorry, OG teddy bear. Why? Because it's part of the Atropa system. Because it's part of the treasury system that the Atropa web is building around PDI, right? Because whether or not you love or you hate the dev and how he has managed this, it seems very clear to me that there is some coordination. I don't know how, but on chain coordination between Richard Hart's team, the Atropa team, the Liberty Swap Finance team. I don't know how it all works. I'm okay not knowing, but I'm starting to see how they fit together, right? And so that's why I say, hell yeah. Like, I mean, PDI just as a speculative asset, even if there weren't attempt to peg it around $1 backing to Ethereum and Bitcoin and Hex, a dollar's worth of that backing, let's just say hypothetically. Let's say that didn't exist, like no one was trying to make that happen. I do believe they're trying to make it happen now. But let's make believe that they're not. Even just the speculation that they are is attracting huge attention. And PDI has recovered off, it went to zero almost, right? And now it's like half a penny or whatever, right? It's got another 200x to go to a dollar. So could it 100x to go to 50 cents? Of course it could. In a huge speculative bull run that where new capital is coming in and the number one marketing machine, Liberty Swap Finance, is like promoting, well, of course, yes, it can happen, right? And that's why, I put maybe $1,000 of USDC into PDI in the last, actually, I did it a while ago because I saw this coming, right? Bear, Bear is critical in the treasury system. Assuming the treasury system in the Atropa web actually manifests how people who know, when does ETH top Q3, or I don't know, man, Q3 or Q4, you mean of 2025? for 2026. I have no idea. When does ETH top? I don't know, man. I mean, other people will tell me. I mean, I honestly, I play it as if, so I'll play it 3 months at a time, 3 months at a time. Like, I'll start to think about when ETH is topping once I see how fast it breaks all-time high. Let's first see, because Ethereum, we haven't seen Ethereum when there's been an ETF and when there's been all this institutional capital coming in, not just like huge like BlackRock capital and Fidelity capital coming into Ethereum, but also like these pump and dump institutional players. I don't want to name them, but it's hard to know. This is why Ethereum, like, let's see when Ethereum, let's see how fast it breaks all-time high. Because all-time high, what is Ethereum all-time high? Like $4,800, and we're almost at four. Let's see. Once Ethereum breaks all-time high and then has its all-time high as support as opposed to resistance, right? Every time we haven't even come close to the all-time high, right? And so Ethereum has been lagging. And my hypothesis is it's very similar to how Bitcoin lagged after in its first cycle ETF. So Ethereum has been lagging because its price has been, depressed and suppressed, right? So that giving like all these institutions and big players like an opportunity to get Ethereum relatively cheap, right? But Ethereum is ready to take off. And so, like, some people think Ethereum is going to top at 7,000. Other people think it's going to top around 35,000, right? So for me, I'm somewhere, I have no idea, somewhere between 7,000 and 37,000, right? It will be the blow off top, if there's going to be a blow off top of Ethereum. I have no idea. But once I see Ethereum in price discovery, and I also see what my critical altcoins are doing, then I'll start to form my thesis. Until then, I'm just all about positioning for the inevitable altcoin rally. And for me, that means positioning in Ouroboros, because Ouroboros is my my largest altcoin holding by far, mostly because I just believe it has huge long-term potential and incredible pumpamentals in the short term. And so I don't worry about Ouroboros. I just study it and educate about it and hold it and vest and make passive income, right? And ride this like uh, Ouroboros is a fee sharing token. So that's what I'm like in it. I don't even think about like the tops when I think about Ouroboros. I'm thinking about long-term investment in a long-term, like exponentially growing protocol that's about to explode. Um, Other than Ouroboros, in terms of early stage assets, like I'm definitely focused my personal attention on Pulsechain, because I believe, first of all, because now I can merge my Ethereum and TitanX assets onto Pulsechain, right? And then pair them and get back into the Pulsechain market, which is what I've been doing over the last 3 months, 12 weeks, right? My battery's about to die. So, all right, man. William Dugan. Good to see you, bro. Okay, let me ask you, when is ETH going to top QT? I don't think it's going to top QT Q3 or Q4, honestly. That's just my opinion. I have no idea though. But I don't believe it's gonna I do it could be that Ethereum has a double top kind of thing like Bitcoin had last cycle. I'm not saying that, but you know how Ethereum tends to follow Bitcoin, and this cycle to me for Ethereum feels sort of like the Bitcoin cycle last time, meaning that and Bitcoin, it was a very strange cycle for it had like a double top and it fooled a lot of people. Um, so I don't know what I don't know. I think this is I don't know. I have no idea. But what I do know is that I don't know where the top is, but I do know we're about to start the exponential Ethereum run. I would say my I don't know. I don't want to put a dollar figure on it or a time. Time and dollar, I don't know. But what I know is that the where we are right now is the precipice of all-time highs in Ethereum, and that means an explosive altcoin cycle with huge infusion of capital, huge. Which is why Liberty Swap Finance has come just in the nick of time. It's why legal certainty for Pulsechain has come just in the nick of time, so that, and this is why I believe that the Pulsechain bull cycle is going to be extended. It's going to be an extended. Whatever happens with Ethereum, Pulsechain is going to be extension. It's going to be a leverage on that, just like it's intended. It's been leverage on the downside so far. It's about to be leverage on the upside. Same thing with Titan X. Titan X is leverage on Ethereum, and it's struggled versus Ethereum a lot, but it beat Ethereum. Anyone that remembers last year, right? And it will beat Ethereum again, which is why even though people are bummed that Ouroboros is paired with Titan X, I'm good with it. I'm good with it because I also see that Ouroboros has outperformed Titan X in its distribution phase, and it will continue to outperform. And it's okay that price has been connected to Titan X because we're in incubation and we're getting ready to fly. All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna keep. I've been really. I know I took some time off. I needed time off. I needed to focus my brain and to get fully positive. Right. I was getting drawn into ethical dilemmas. Right. And I based on my study over the last 2 weeks, though, it's been really good. I've studied a lot, and I've studied a lot about ethos and ethics on the blockchain. Okay. And I'm going to start sharing what I'm learning because um, because what I've seen is that there are some practices that people just assume are okay ethically and legally, and they're just not, especially based on my study of the facts. And by the way, around legal stuff, you don't start with the facts. The facts are like fit into the law. That's why when I hear people say, let's talk about the facts, that tends to be a defensive posture or an assertive aggressive posture, which is let's focus on the facts. This idea that there are some facts. One person's set of facts is another person's set of fictions. Trust me, I've mediated hundreds, if not thousands, of these things. Okay. And the truth of facts are always debatable, always negotiable. And so what I'm saying is that I'm going to start sharing and educating what I'm finding around ethics on chain, ethics in terms of governance, ethics in terms of healthy and legal separation between assets. You know, this is like the next level, because now I've learned a lot in the 4 years since I've sacrificed for Pulsechain, a ton. And what I've learned is that there are so many ways of operating in decentralized finance that really need to be exposed for what they are. And for regular people, investors, we need transparency. I need transparency in what I invest in, right? People want to call me a participant now. I'm like, no, I'm not participating. Yes, I'm using the smart contract. I'm an investor. I invest my time, money, energy. I'm not ashamed to say it. I invest time, energy, money, right? I'm an investor. This idea that I'm a participant, that's just someone's fear of giving investor advice. You don't have to be afraid of that. It's obvious. So don't get me started. Peace out, y'all. And props to Liberty Swap Finance. Just come on with a freaking storm. Props to this team. Oh, last thing. That team, like, I'm good at intuiting and being able to trust words. I'm not saying this is true, but it came from that Twitter, from Liberty Swap Finance official Twitter statement. They said they have 15 people on their team and one media assistant. I'm like, wow, right on. And people that have looked at it say that there's a 4-year build history on GitHub. Check into that. Peace out, y'all. I'm going to do more of this. I'm heading to the city right now. I'm like very thankful I get to make art. And now I get to go to the city and experience some business and some culture. Peace out.